Welcome back everybody to my channel. Hi, I'm Rizbo the Blade, your personal mining guru, and today I'm gonna show you and teach you exactly about two very important things which you need for mining in general, but especially now for this research drive event, which is currently, live in PU. And these two things are, first, how to jump the fastest that you can on the surface of the planet or the moon on some random location, where you don't have, some physical marker as an outpost or some city or something like that. And also how to directly jump to the morning side of that planet or the moon. So you're gonna be constantly mining on the day side. And second thing is connected directly to this research drive event is what is best locations to go to mine these materials, what we need, what exactly to mine from these all materials and why. And before we dive into all that explanation, I just want you to admire this yellow paint for mole, because this is the paint which I wanted to have from the first day when I saw the mole in the game. And this paint was never available till this last month when they actually make it for the mole. They make also two more paints, which is like reddish and orange paint, so you can buy these paints on the pledge store. This is not something that you can obtain from the grinding in the game, at least not for now. Maybe it's gonna be in the future. But with this like pack, you get the paint and you get also this armor what you see me wearing, and you get also a small yellow handgun. For me personally, only paint for mole is important, and this is what I really wanted, and now I finally have it. Usually I don't spend any real money on the game, but at least this thing I gift myself as a present so I can enjoy it, because I was dreaming about this paint for very long time. For me, all industrial machinery needs to be yellow, not red or blue or green. It's supposed to be yellow. That's my paint. But if you guys really want to check these paints out, you have them in Pledge Store on gear section, but you need to hurry if you want to really obtain them, because they're limited time items, so they're not gonna be for long up there. But now enough about blinky blinky, and let's go talk about real knowledge. So let's start. So first, what I'm gonna show you and teach you is how to jump fast on the random position down on any type of planet or the moon, and jump also directly closer to the morning side of the planet, so you can stay as long as possible on the day side, because a lot of players don't want to mine in the night, because they're crashing into mountains, into rocks and that stuff, so they want to just be always on the day side. First thing what you need to learn is everything about orbital markers or OM points, and now I'm jumping to OM5 point. And I'm jumping because of one reason, and that is that when you're jumping to planets, and this is usually just happening with planets, the game is pushing your jump more closer to the planet than it should. So you're always like 100 kilometers closer, and then you cannot jump from OM marker to OM marker. You need to go back again to that OM point which is behind you. So this is first thing what you need to learn, right? That's why sometimes you cannot jump around. And now we are in front of Monox, right? And now if you look up on the planet, you're gonna see it says OM or orbital marker 1. So this is always north pole of that planet. So OM1 with number 1 is north pole, and OM2, which is on the bottom, or orbital marker 2, is south pole. And now around the planet, right, you have 4 more orbital markers, including this one you see up. So this is we're just 1 kilometer from OM5. And we have now around there, it says OM3. We have here OM6, right? And then full left, it's OM4. So next thing what you need to know is that all these OM points around the planet and also other points to which you can jump, you see like this Megumi refueling station, which is next to this OM point. This is all behind this planet, but it's going through this equator line, which is almost perfect line where it's everything aligned the same in whole system of Pyro, right? It's the same thing like in Stanton, right? So basically this is creating a line where it's it's half planet, right? And this is basically equator of the planet. And these all points are around that equator, right? In exactly same distance and from each other. And now if you're looking that our OM point 1 is up and OM point 2 is down, so this is north and south poles, and the middle is equator. Now we know that we are in exact position where we need to be, and I'm gonna explain you why. So if we put map on and we zoom in on that planet, so this is where we are, this green dot, and you see these blue lines turning around the planet. So this is actually showing you equator again, and it's showing you rotation of that planet, and it's always the same, it's always from left to right. And we already determined that OM point 1 is North Pole up and OM point 2 is South Pole down, right? And with knowing that, now we can not do any mistake. Next thing now to know is that normally, because we know now rotation of the planet, which is from left to right, that left side, it's always supposed to be day side. But where we're positioning now, what I'm showing with mouse, it's exactly where the day is getting into night. So we are not on the morning side. So to get to the morning side, we need to keep jumping to the left from OM point to OM point, when we're gonna see picture other way around. So on the left side is gonna be dark and on the right side is gonna be day. And this is where actual day is gonna start to become a day, right? It's gonna become morning on that planet. And this is always the same on each type of planet and each type of moon, right? So this tactic you can always use wherever you wanna go down for mining or any other type of adventures what you wanna do, doesn't matter. It's not only for mining, right? And you can see that right here, right? So we keep jumping left from OM point to OM point, and now you can see where we have on the left side dark and in the middle is dark and light, and then it's full day on the right side. So this is where the morning starts. But now we are already too far to be doing what I need to show you, right? So we need to go back one OM point backwards, right, to the right, and then we're gonna do that right jump where I'm gonna actually go to the closest position in atmosphere to the ground. So you're gonna see how that works. So basically, when you're jumping from moon to moon or from planet to planet, right, you can always stop the jump with left clicking of the mouse. But if you're going from orbit to surface, you cannot stop that jump, and we need to be able to stop it, right? So to be able to do that, this is like a workaround. You need to press U on keyboard, which is gonna completely shut off your ship. So what we're doing, we're jumping from one OM point to another, and in between the middle, where it's the middle point, right? Let's say it's 1,000 kilometers between the OM points. We need to stop around 400 kilometers or 600 kilometers or 500 kilometers, around that middle ground. And this is where we're going to be the closest in atmosphere to the ground, right? And now I'm gonna show you that. So we're gonna spool, right, to OM6, and now I will stop the jump with pressing U on keyboard. So I'm gonna stop around, let's say, 600 kilometers from that point. And because we stop our ship between that approximately middle point between these two OM markers, Now we are almost the closest to the ground, and you can see here on the right side I'm showing the altimeter with these white numbers where we are already under 20 kilometers. So we are basically on the surface, right? So this is how this is done. So why this works is because OM markers, you have like 4 of them, right, around the equator, and then exactly middle distance between 2 of them, it's the closest to the surface of this planet or the moon, right? And if you stop around there, you're gonna be the closest to the surface of that planet, right? Or the moon, doesn't matter which planetary object is, right? It's working the same for all of them. So this is how I'm using this mechanic, that workaround, to get on the random location, and I'm getting more to the morning side, so I can be longer on the day side basically of that planet or the moon, so I don't have to, search in the night. For me personally, that doesn't matter, right? If I'm in the night, I'm just keep pinging, but for some people it's just, nicer to fly in the day side. Actually, you can see the scenery, all the time, right? And they have like more confidence to fly, especially if you're somebody who is new in the game. So this is how this works. This is how getting more on the morning side. And now you can see I'm showing OM6 point. So this is where we were jumping, right? Until this OM6 point is still 600 kilometers, right? If we stopped our jump like 200, 300 kilometers closer to that point, then we will be even more closer to that exactly morning point on this planet, right? But it doesn't matter. Now we have a lot of time for flying, and if you want to stay even longer on morning side, just keep flying that direction, because now you're basically chasing a morning, right? Because planet is rotating other way around from where you're flying, right? And then you're just like leveling that position where you are, right? Because of rotation other way from you, and you're flying forward, right? So you're basically stopping rotation of the planet, so you're basically buying yourself more time to be on the day side, right? It's all about that. It's one more thing what I need to show you and teach you how to fix it is the sound bug which is happening when you're doing this jumping with stopping with pressing the U on keyboard. In most of the 2/3 of cases when you're gonna do this, type of stopping and going to random location, after you stop the ship and turn it back on, you're gonna hear the sound of jumping, but you will not be jumping anymore. So this is bug in the game. And it's very annoying, and this is how it sounds. So how to fix that? So to remove this sound, you need to again just spool to any random location you see marked with these triangles on the floor, which is just some outposts on the planet, right? And then you just jump and immediately you repeat the process with, pressing a letter U on keyboard and stopping the ship. And this is gonna automatically, remove the sound. It's very simple, solution for that. And this is how you fix this bug. So this is how you do it, guys. And I think this is gonna help a lot of you, to actually jump randomly on some planet or the moon, and actually fly all the time in the day side, because you're never supposed to go to outposts, not even in Stanton, because if some player wants to kill you, he doesn't care about crime stat, he will do it, so it doesn't matter if you're in Stanton or Pyro. You never go to outposts if you want to go to mine. You always need to jump to random location, so nobody's supposed to find you there, right? You have the biggest chance to not be detected. And especially in Pyro, where you have just few outposts here and there, and the planet and moons are extremely big, right? And then you can just have this open space to fly around and search for rocks. And because of that tactic that I'm using from the day one when I was start to mine in this game, especially using it in Pyro. I was never killed in Pyro on surface when I was searching for rocks and when I was mining rocks. Nobody ever found me because you're always jumping to a random location, and in Pyro you don't have so much outposts, so you're always somewhere far from something. And because of that, this is the perfect tactic to use, and nothing else can beat that. So let's now explain you everything what you need to know about mining in the Research Drive event, which we have in this patch 4.2.1. And first thing what you need to understand is what materials you need to mine and what is properties of that materials. And exactly what I mean by that is you need to know which material is giving you more ore in the same sizes of rocks. So we're gonna use the regolith calculator again, and you can here see I have selected a corundum material. Here you can see it, right? And we put it on 69% corundum and only a nerd connected to that corundum material. So this is the rocks which you need to keep looking for. So not rocks which contain 3 type of materials, but only rocks which contain 2 type of materials. And why is that important is because this type of rocks is gonna give you almost over 90% of pure breaks, where you're gonna have just one or eventually just two pieces where you're gonna have connected corundum to inert, and everything else is gonna be or inert or corundum. So you have best possible mining that you can have. And what we need to explain you is because of density of materials, corundum, let's say if you have 15-ton rock, it's gonna give you out 100 SU of corundum. So 15-ton rock is actually a very tiny rock in world of mining in Star Citizen. This is not big rock because Prospector can break double that with right equipment normally. So even for mole, if you find a rock like that, it can already basically fill up the full mole with pure corundum, right? And that's why this material is the best to mine, because you get the most ore quantity out from the rock when you mine it. If we put here on the copper, which is in the middle, so the best one is corundum, then in the middle is the copper, and the worst is tungsten, right? This is 3 materials which we're mining for this event. And if you put on copper, so same thing, 69% of copper with the nerd, 15 tons. And now here you can see that amount what you're getting out is 1 times less, but it's still great, right? Especially for mining with Prospector. Copper is perfect material, right? But you're getting it 1 times less on this type of size, which is 15 tons, right? And if you mine tungsten, so all the same, data what we put in, and you can see here that now is like 2 times less, even more, right? So with corundum we're getting around 100 SU. With copper we're getting around like 45, and with tungsten we're getting around a little bit higher than 20, right? So this is that differences. Now next thing what I'm going to show you, this is old charts from Red Monster, and what we're looking here is where we're supposed to go to mine these materials. And the best options that you can get is where you only have 2 type materials spawning as a tier 3 materials in the rocks on this particular moon or planet what you're looking currently now, right? So here in this chart you can see that only on Microtech area you have materials which are just 2, which is quartz and corundum, and normally you also have on Hearthstone, which is only iron. But we're not mining iron, right? We're mining corundum. So the best place would be always be where you have only 2 types tier 3 materials, and normally for Microtech area you have that, where we can mine basically on Microtech on Calliope and on Clio moons, right? But it's a very big problem with these areas, and the problem is in the weather, because you have huge storms and winds. So this is big down part for mining, especially if you're mining alone in the mall, right? If you mine with Prospector, I definitely recommend it to go there, but not if you're mining alone in the mall. If you're mining like with team, with multiple people, somewhere you can be in pilot seat, yes, you can do it. But if you're gonna be alone, this is gonna be very annoying thing. And as you see here, I'm actually showing the footage, which is clearly showing how my ship is floating away from the actual rock position. And this is not me flying. This is, actually wind pushing me so much. So it's just terrible. And you can see, the particles, flying from right to left side, like in huge speeds around me. So it's just crazy. But these moons, like Calliope, is actually the best moon to mine, not just because it's one of the highest percentage of corundum there, but also because you're getting the biggest possible rocks for this area, right? Because the mass index range is from 2 to 4. So 4 is the maximum for this area. You can find it also in Euterpe, but Euterpe already has type of tier 3 materials in these rocks, so it's automatically falling off, as a place to go, right? So we are searching where we have smallest number of possible materials spawning in these rocks, right? And in Calliope, Clio, and Microtech as a planet, we have 2 and not 3. And that's very important, right? But what is concerning other 2 materials, copper and tungsten, unfortunately Stanton is not best place to mine them, right? And you need to go for that in Pyro. And normally that's gonna require for you to deliver all your refined ore from Pyro to Stanton, through the wormhole and into the cities. So this is down part of that. So why mining for copper and tungsten is so great in Pyro? Well, as you see here on this chart again, so this is the last chart that Red Monster could pull out from the data mining. And here you can see on Pyro 1 planet, right, and Pyro 2, which is Monox planet, you have the biggest possible amounts of tungsten spawning and also copper. And on these planets you have again 3 type of materials which are spawning. So aluminum is also there, but it's only in 10%. And because of that, Pyro 1 and Monox are top destinations for mining on Pyro 1 tungsten and mining on Monox copper. And one more thing is very interesting is that also on Monox is huge amount of tungsten. So basically Monox is priority number 1 from all the planets to go for mining both materials, right? Because they're gonna spawn in the highest rates, and you're gonna have huge amount of rocks which is gonna produce, in the side of the rock just tungsten and inert materials or just copper and inert materials. This is what you need to look for, and this is what you need to hunt when you're mining, right? And they're gonna be in every second cluster, everywhere. This is such a huge amounts of ore that, previous mining, when you're mining like Continuum, this is nothing in comparison to this. So this is, you just go down instantly, first cluster or second, you see copper, these pure rocks, right? You keep breaking, and you just keep filling ships and going up and down. So this mining is so simple that it's just became too boring, because it became like hauling more than mining. So it's just crazy how much amount of ore you can get there. And now I'm just gonna quickly show you, these rocks, some of them which I was mining. So this is on Calliope Moon, and we're mining corundum, right? And you see now what we're mining exactly. So it has almost near 70% corundum and inert. So this is rocks which you need to chase, strictly this type of rocks. Between 60 and 70, so 69.99 is the biggest percentage of ground what you can get. Same goes for copper or tungsten in this type of rocks. And now here I'm, collecting, and you can see that I still have like one big piece which is grounded in earth, and I collect from this same rock 91 SEU, right? So it was almost full mole from that tiny rock, right? So that was like between 15 to 20 tons. I will be definitely filling up the full mole. What is concerned copper on Monox, right? Here you can see where I mined one rock, and it's like a little bit over 38 tons, and again it's only copper and inert, and it has over 64% of copper. So this type of rock, it's also not too big, especially not for the mole, right? We can basically break double that almost, right? Almost. This rock can give like 120 SU of copper right out. So this is huge amount, right? So if that was like, let's say even 30 tons, it would be maybe enough, 30 to 35, to fill up mole full. So this is still not too big rock, right? It's not like 50 tons, 60 tons, right? It's just under 40. And this is perfect copper rocks for mold breaking. And I break everything that with just helix in 3 Riger C3s. So if it's going over 40 tons, you need to use surges, right? But till 40, you can actually push it with only Riger C3s, 3 of them on the helix laser. And you can see me here filling up, so it's gonna be basically almost full. I accidentally take a little bit inert because I'm not even looking, I'm just collecting, because I know that all the breaks are basically pure, right? So I'm not even scanning. So for the fast runs, I'm just keep collecting, So here and there is just tiny bit of something, but basically all these, rounds are just pure, which is just crazy. And now for our last material, we have tungsten. And I'm gonna put waveshift gadget on the rock because of one big reason. So here I have actually like 100% perfect example what is maximum mass of rock what you could potentially break. And this is what you see here. So here we have mass around 62 tons, and this tungsten is not the best percentage, is 58, because it can go like to 69.99, right? So it can be 10% better. But anyway, this rock can still give you around 90 ACU of tungsten, which is huge amount, right? But for tungsten, for these sizes, you really need to use 3 surge modules on helix size 2 laser. And the reason why I'm putting wave shift on the rock is because it's gonna increase the green zone, right? Because we don't have any use from all these gadgets for decreasing instability or resistance, because you can see here already resistance and instability is 0. So the only thing what can help me in breaking is bigger green zone, because my charge level is gonna enter in the green zone faster. So I still have maybe, like, let's say I'm buying myself a time for like maybe 3 to 5 seconds. So my surge modules are not gonna fall off so much longer, right? But in this case they will. So you're gonna see now exactly how much little bit of time I would still need it to just basically break this rock, and it's just in like 1 or 2 seconds. So this rock is perfect example to see that rock supposed to be like between like 55 to 58 tons to be able to break it alone in the mold. You can see them falling off. So it was just like 1 second more maybe enough, to break it, but unfortunately I didn't do it. So this is how it goes with tungsten, and that was basically the best example for you guys to see what it could possibly to break almost, the maximum mass, right? So if it's over that or around that, you're gonna have problems to do it. But if it's like around 55 tons, then you can do it. But now I need to show you one more thing. So because we're mining this ores, and it's the best to mine copper and tungsten in Pyro, on all refineries you have the same bonuses, or if you want to say minuses, right? And in Pyro, for tungsten is a +4 on all refineries, and for copper is -5. So what that means exactly? If you're mining in Stanton, for example, Euterpe Moon for Corundum, you need to deliver Corundum to Mikkel 2 station, and then you have the best bonus. And if you deliver 96 ACU, which is full mole capacity, refine it out, you're getting around 86 ACU. In Pyro, if you deliver tungsten 96 ACU, you're getting out around 84, almost 85 ACU, right? And if you deliver copper 96 ACU full, you're getting for copper 77 ACU out, right? So difference between copper and tungsten is around, so that's like 3 and 4, like around 7 to 8 ACU. So that means if you're gonna deliver copper in Pyro to refine it, you're gonna lose around 7 to 9 ACU in comparison to tungsten and corundum. And that means that in between 7 to 10 runs, you're gonna lose one full capacity of ore in mole, right? But you don't have to worry so much about that, you know. You can mine copper, it's totally fine, because you have it in such a big quantities that it's just ridiculous to even think about this, refineries and how much less you're getting, because you just keep delivering so fast and so much that that's not even important so much, right? You just deliver 2-3 capacities of mole more and you're done, right? So it's not a big deal. So basically, all in all, this is the most, safest and most easiest and most fastest mining that it can be. So it's perfectly for everybody to actually even try it who were not mining before, right? And that's why also, inviting people to join our Discord. Whoever wants to, learn to mine, you can learn it here from the best. And you can get all the knowledge for free. I never charge anything for teaching people, and I teach over thousands of people already directly in the voice chat, so it's not a problem at all. Also, I have plenty of money earned with just mining, so if you really don't have mining ship, we can hook you up with Prospector. They're not so expensive, and you can start mining with us. If you're really interested to join, just join to our Java Scrap Mining Corp, and the link from Discord is gonna be in the description below. This is all for now, guys, and normally if you find this all information very interesting and informative, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more content. See you next time, guys. Bye bye.